If you've been following my channel, you know that I love shitty keyboards. They are usually small, cheap instruments made for kids or people who are learning how to play for the first time. But why? Nowadays, the musical possibilities are unlimited. In a world where I can simulate any instrument ever created, every piano, every orchestra, I like having limitations. Sometimes I have a great idea for a song. I turn on the computer and get lost in a million different presets and plugins, until I forget what I even wanted to make in the first place. When I use a shitty keyboard instead, I can master anything it has to offer. Every single sound, every single rhythm, every single fader. I get inspired by the limitation and adapt my playing to make something new. But is there a limit to limitation? Is there a limit to shitty keyboards? Sometimes I just feel the urge to buy a new musical instrument, and there's one place where I like to go. It's Facebook Marketplace. I have a really advanced technique that consists in writing in the search bar the word pianola. Pianola is the word that all Italian boomers use to refer to a generic electric keyboard. My hope is always to find a guy that opens his grandpa's garage, finds a Yamaha CS80 and sells it for 50 euros because he doesn't know what it is and thinks it's a random old dusty keyboard. Obviously, 99% of the time I just find a cute Casio from the 90s and I end up buying it anyway. But if you're in Italy like me, you know that literally half of the marketplace is off limits, because it's flooded with one single cursed brand of musical instrument. Bontempi. If you saw my last video, you probably already know the name. Bontempi was born in 1937 by the hand of Egidio Bontempi. They started by making high-quality accordions and wind organs, but then in the 70s they changed and they started making toy keyboards, or as we would call them, shitty. The marketplace is drowning in these cheap wind organs and electric keyboards. Some of their keyboards actually gained a kind of a cult reputation in the circuit bending community because they're really easy to mod and can make some fun sounds. But in 2014, they got sold, and as often happens in late-stage capitalism, their brand began to be slapped on everything. I'm talking saxophones, drums, violins, microphones, and one thing in particular: keyboards. These are the worst keyboard known to man. They are mass-produced in some random cheap Chinese factory and sold in Italian supermarkets. I would never buy one. But what if I find one in the trash? One day I was going to Lidl to buy onions, and I remember seeing in the literal dumpster outside the store, the beast. A Bontempi. And here it is. Let's have a look at it. Okay, so here we are. This is the Bontempi 154905. Great model name. Really easy to remember. Before going on with the video, I should admit that every time you see this top view, I'm not wearing any pants. If this makes you uncomfortable, feel free to skip this video and go somewhere else. I'm sorry for that. First thing. This keyboard, as is, it's unplayable. As you can see, the keys flex so much that I can't press them without the whole keyboard going down. So we have to mod it. I'm using the packaging tape advanced technique to stick the board to the plastic frame so it doesn't flex as much and I can actually press the key without breaking the whole keyboard. Since I'm inside the frame, you can see how this thing is empty. This is the button board. This is the keys board, this is an audio amplifier, and all the rest, every computational thing, is done by this small ass blob chip that's probably featured in a lot of these kind of cheap instruments. Also, the batteries just don't fit. Okay, let's go with the power cable. I just noticed that the protective film is still on here. This means that whoever bought this keyboard originally tried it once and then trashed it immediately. Ooh. This keyboard actually has one cool feature, and is the fact that it doubles as an acoustic maracas. Even after the mod, these are the worst keys ever in any instrument I ever played, and I really played the worst instruments. For reference, this is the sound that it makes every time I press a key. I imagine a kid buying this for exercising, maybe during the evening, and in the other room the mom hearing this. There are 7 songs that you can play in this, and all of them are the worst rendition you ever heard of famous classical pieces. Enough! Okay. There are also 100 rhythms, some of which I actually like. Half of the keys I press are not registering. It also has a filling button and it plays the most boring fills ever. It also has 100 sounds. Some are really cool and sound like they come straight from an early 90s game console, like a Mega Drive or something like that. It's a bit weird since this is a 2020 keyboard, but still. Unfortunately, it's really hard to play them because of the shit keys. I'll try anyway. Oh my god. Not registering! One of like the 5 cool sound is the bass sound. If I play it on the lower key possible, it's actually a little bit funny. So menacing. Synth sounds. There are 4 drum pads. What the fuck? That I always love in keyboard, but the problem with this one is that if I play a chord and then play the drum pads, the sound from the keys stops. What? What use do I have for this? It weirdly has a record function. It records everything I do and quantizes it. Quantization means putting everything in a grid, so everything is on time. The stupid thing is that for quantization you need to be on time and there's no metronome and you can't record while you're playing a rhythm, so it makes no sense. This thing only partially redeems itself by having my most favorite 2 keys ever, sustain and vibrato. Sustain, obviously, sustains the sound, and vibrato makes it wobbly. I just noticed that this also reduces the number of notes that you can play to 1 at a time. Fuck. I can't use it. So I tried and made a song only from the sounds of this keyboard. Since it has no MIDI, I had to play this shitty keyboard. It took a lot of tries to make a decent sounding one. I hope that you like it. Here it is. So thank you for staying for the whole video, I hope that you liked it. It's the first video in which, at least in the first part, I'm wearing normal pants and not this pyjama with Santa on. I'm really shocked that nobody addressed this in the comment, but okay. I'm not wearing pants now, but you can't see that. This is the room in which I make all the content and in which I live since I share my house with other 2 people. It's literally overflowing with all keyboards and computers. I opened a Patreon, so maybe I can get one day at least a small room to shoot videos and to put my gear in. And thank you for staying this long. I really appreciate it. Bye.
I'm feeling glad I had to go.